Guys, we've got another massive game. It's Liverpool versus Everton, and this is big for two reasons. Well, maybe three, but two main ones. Number one, this is the game in hand, right? This is the game in hand that everyone's been talking about for the last 2.5 months. So this is the big one, because if Liverpool win this, they will have realized all three of those game in hand points that people keep imagining are there, right? Because Liverpool sits 6 points clear, and they have a game in hand. So everyone kind of thinks, well, that game in hand is Everton. It's going to be 9 points. But that's not the case. You got to play the game. So it's a game in hand. And number two, how do they respond? How does this Liverpool team respond to getting knocked out of the FA Cup? We know what happened last year when Manchester United knocked us out. It kind of just killed all of the momentum, all of the vibe of this team. Very different circumstances, obviously. This team now is fully healthy. They were not healthy last year when that happened. But now we have a chance to go and respond in a big way. In a it's going to be an absolute nightmare of an environment to go into the final game, the final derby at Goodison Park. It is going to be ravage. It's just going to be savages all over the place. So the crowd is going to be insane. I think the Everton players are going to be insane. David Moyes is back. This is going to be a fascinating match of football, and I am here to break down the starting 11 for Liverpool. Let's get it started. At the back, it's Alisson Becker, the biggest goalkeeper for the biggest occasion. He has to be in. I'm putting him back there, of course, no doubt there. It's the world's best center back pairing in Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. Whenever they're not in there, man, do we suffer. I mean, it's just a garbage heap at the back. The last couple times, out in the Carabao Cup and then in the FA Cup. So let these guys cook, get them in there. It's going to be a very physical game. And by the way, Everton are on a winning streak. They've won 3 in a row. They beat Spurs 3-2, they beat Brighton 1-0, and then they beat Leicester 4-0. So Everton are coming into this on a high. Liverpool as well, probably not quite as much of a high because of dropping out of the FA Cup, but that wasn't really the fault of any of these players that are going to be playing here in this one, as I predict. So this is going to be a really tough match. That's my point here. I think Connor Bradley's going to start. I'm not sure about the status of Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I think this should be Connor Bradley's game. I think when you look at the circumstances, it's going to be just an insane environment. And not that Trent Alexander-Arnold can't handle that, because he can, and he has before. But I think the physical, the speed, the ability to get forward, Connor Bradley in this one, I think is just really important. So I'm definitely starting Connor Bradley. It's going to be Andy Robertson. Again, we need leadership. We need vocalization. We need a little bit of that bulldog mentality in this game. And I think that's where Andy Robertson can really come in and shine. And he's been looking really good lately. I think it's starting to click finally for Andy Robertson with the Arne Slot system, with slot ball. And so I think you're going to see Andy Robertson come into this one. I think you're going to see a good performance from the left back. He's been here before. I think he relishes the chance to go into these ties. And by the way, guys, don't forget. I mean, this team lost 2-0 to this Everton team last year in this fixture at Goodison Park. So my point here is it's just going to be a really tough game, okay? So don't forget that. We need to stay humble, eh? It's going to be one of the best midfield pairings in the world right now, McAllister and Gravenberch. Back at it. Certainly missed them in the match against Plymouth Argyle. And you get McAllister and Gravenberch, who just make an absolute world of a difference. Their ability to break up the opposition with McAllister and Gravenberch both being able to do that really well. And the energy, and then just the smoothness of the way that they play, the way that they facilitate, the way they can break down any kind of press. It's going to be great. And, Everton they're going to totally stack the box. I mean, Everton are going to go with the classic, park 10 men behind the ball and hope for a counterattack. And that's they have to play that way. That's the only way that we've seen teams have success against Arne Slot this season. And so absolutely, they are going to try to do that. They are going to be content with, 30% possession. In that match that they won 1-0 against Brighton just 2 weeks ago, Brighton had almost 70% possession. 70% possession. And Everton were totally fine to let them have 16 shots. 16 shots. Only one on target, and that's probably a testimony to Brighton and the quality they have there and the lack of quality they have to put the ball on frame. But that is a recipe we've seen Liverpool not do well against, right? You look at the way that Everton are going to set up. They're going to put bruisers in there. They're going to be physical. They're going to pack everything back into that 18-yard box. And so we need players who can get in there and disrupt that. We need players who can, find the little gaps and not be afraid to shoot and take those chances. And that's why, of course, Szoboszlai is going to be massive in this match. Has to start. Szoboszlai has been absolutely brilliant in the last 2 months of the season since he came back from sickness. And so Szoboszlai is going to be absolutely crucial in this. The energy he's able to put out, the pressure he's able to put on the opposition when they have the little amount of possession that Liverpool will give them in this one. I think this is going to be fascinating. How is Arne Slot going to come into this, right? First derby at Liverpool. Is he going to kind of do his classic, hey, lay low in the first half, see what they've got, see what they're bringing, and then come out and just smash them in the second half? Or is he going to come out and try to fly high in the first and really try to go after it? We'll see. But I think Mo Salah, obviously, there's just literally 0% chance that he doesn't start. And then it's got to be Cody Gakpo. My, oh my, did we miss him against Plymouth Argyle. Here's a little note on Plymouth Argyle. Arne Slot clearly didn't care. I think he wants to win every match, right? He wants to put his kids out there and see that they can get the job done. But is he going to lose sleep over Plymouth Argyle? No, because it clearly put out the entire second unit and not even into the third unit, parts of the third unit, right? So clearly, he's got a fully fit squad, minus 2 minor injuries. And he could have put out a stronger team, and he didn't. And he didn't even really sub on. He didn't have the substitutes even on the bench for that. And so Arne Slot clearly was it's okay, right? The way that he put his team out, it's fine. So that's my quick note on Plymouth Argyle. Who starts up top, guys? This was probably the toughest decision in this team. So we've got, fully fit options. We've got Diogo Jota. We've got Darwin Núñez. You could put Luis Diaz up there. Chiesa. I don't think so. Here's my thought process here. This is a derby at Goodison Park. You need someone who's going to be able to have the mental fortitude. Someone who's not afraid to go into a challenge. Someone who's got the physical attributes to go up against the bruising nature of Everton at their home place. And so I'm going with Darwin Núñez in this one, because I think if you were to start Luis Diaz, who has been pretty poor in this calendar year, and if you were to start Diogo Jota, who would probably get injured in this match, you need someone like Darwin Núñez, someone who's going to protect his teammates, someone who's not going to put up with the trash, right? And someone who's going to get their nose into every challenge, who's going to run his tail off. That's what I want from my number 9 in this match. And I hope that Arne Slot sees that. And obviously Arne Slot's much better at this than I am. But that's my reasoning for Darwin Núñez starting up top for Liverpool. This, to me, is a very, very, very strong 11. There's no reason we should not beat this Everton team. And yet, it is a Premier League fixture. I'm trying to get that word right, guys. I don't know why it's so hard for me. But it's a Premier League fixture. And here's the deal. I've got a gut feeling here that Everton are going to score 2. I just have a gut feeling that they're going to score 2. And I hope, it's kind of forcing myself on this one, but I really hope that Liverpool are able to get 3, right? So I'm going 3-2 with the score prediction. I'd love to know what you guys are feeling about this one, because this is a really interesting time for Liverpool, right? Just got knocked out of our first competition. what's going to happen to Arne Slot's boys in this one. So get your score predictions in below. What do you think Arne Slot's going to do in the number 9 role? I think everything else kind of speaks for itself. But would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. And guys, oh, we need this one. Come on, up the Reds, boys. It's going to be 9 points clear if we do it. Let's do it.